Good evening, Anchal. Good evening,
Good
everyone.
evening, Vasu.
Good evening, Vasu.
Yeah, I'll be just behind the screens listening. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, welcome. And let's start with getting some inspiration from the verse. So, this is the verse that actually kind of gives us inspiration to spread the knowledge that we kind of hoard sometimes. Yeah. So, we thought that the objective should be that we have finished the course and we are going to have the advanced course starting in Jan. And we wanted a complete revisiting from your side on all the topics that we have covered in the foundation course. So that was the whole idea of bringing these sessions so that we kind of touch base back with ourselves as a group and touch base with the topics that have been covered so far in the foundation course. And you bring in your experiences, your understanding, and then we brainstorm on it together. Okay. So starting with today that we are going to do the fourfold, but before I start, I am very grateful to Vasu and Kiran to allow me to hold this space for you all and to trust me with that. And yes, my partners in crime, my colleagues, Aditi is here, Nirupama will be joining us in some time. It's impossible to do all this without them. So they are going to be there in the subsequent sessions. They are going to take up individual topics in the sessions that are going to come. Okay. Right. So let's begin with fourfold today. Uh, anyone has anything to bring, or then I will just start with one simple story that we will all listen to. Shall I? Okay. So may I request everyone to close their eyes and peacefully listen to the story. It's just a simple description, not very complicated. Yeah. Okay. Imagine you are taking a walk in the forest. The weather is fine. The sky is blue with the odd cloud. There is a little breeze. Everything feels very pleasant. You smell the fresh perfumes of the awakening greenery. As you look around, you see trees, shrubs, and herbs. You see the tree trunks, the various hues of green, and the light filtering through the leaves. Now and then, you hear leaves rustling. You notice the yellow dandelion flowers and the tender pink blossoms of wild cherry trees. You hear the gay songs of all sorts of birds. A squirrel dashes up a tree. There is a puddle on the path. You pass a bench and a sign saying no admittance. You meet other people who are walking their dogs. It's nice and warm in the sun, but still slightly cold in the shade. You get to a bridge and see the water flow. Not all of it flows at the same speed. It is faster in the middle of the brook than along the banks. There are eddies in the stream. The water hits a rock that's lying in it and flows around it, appearing to stand still just behind the rock. Thank you. May slowly open your eyes. Is everyone back? So let's begin with looking at the purport in what was narrated. Whatever you remember is fine. The idea of this session is that I'm going to talk the least.
Aanchal, there's a lot of background noises actually. So
Now?
maybe somebody's mic is not muted or something, some sound.
Everyone is on mute, in fact, Pooja. Now is it better?
It is there actually. Okay. So try to live with that. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So there are observations that can be made in the forest that you just walked through. And there can be observations that can be made of living and non-living objects. There can be observations that can be made of the solid element or the physical element. So if you want me to share the screen and show you the whole thing again, does that help? Or you remember it?
Ma'am, could you please share the screen, please?
Yeah. And then probably we could look at this and think of living, non-living, physical, air, water. Where can you see warmth in this? So take a quick 2 to 3 minutes and then we can start discussing. Shall I stop sharing? Shall I stop sharing? Everybody's got a gist of it? Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yes. We start sharing on where could you see physical in the whole passage or in the whole imagery.
Ma'am, trees, shrubs, herbs is I think physical. Will squirrel come in physical? Yeah, no, it
You're
will,
able to
right?
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bench,
Rocks,
house,
rocks.
box. I can't hear you, Manu.
Rock.
Rock. Yeah. Purely physical, purely solid state. Hmm?
The bridge.
Bridge.
The bridge.
Hmm? The bench.
The bench.
The sign. Is there a little fine line there of living and non-living in the physical? The bench is non-living.
We have to tell the physical which is living.
Where whatever you can tangibly see is physical, Puja.
So, ma'am, people and dogs also.
Yeah. Trunk of a tree, then yellow dandelion flower.
Would you consider flower in the next?
Okay, the next, yeah, as the flower will be in that astral, no?
Yeah.
But it has a the trees are physical.
Yeah, yeah.
Trees are
It has
physical,
a
no?
yes, definitely. It has a physical
Every
property.
living has a physical property also, no?
Yeah, whatever you can see, tangibly touch is there. You are feeling it, so it's there. Yes.
Is the physical also animals that aren't present in the text because you're saying nature, so you'll have external parts of nature also as a part of the physical, right? Like if you have bugs and bees and things like that, that will also be a part of the physical.
Yeah, but we stay with what is there in the passage, Smriti.
Right.
Okay. Any other observations of the next?
What banks?
Hmm.
The river and river bank.
Puddle also.
Puddle will be a water element. But water.
Does it have physical?
I feel like it does in a very weird, basic sense of the word because you're looking at it as a form of interchanging sorry, you're looking at it as a form of changing shapes and forms into one particular aspect. So I think in that perception it does.
It does. Okay.
Like Aanchal, actually physical is there in every living and non-living because first element is physical only, mineral element.
Yeah.
So it is there in everywhere actually.
Hmm.
If you want a pure non-living physical, then that is rock. So there's no life body in it.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
others like dogs and people, they all physical, but they have life and then astral and then ego.
Okay.
Then
Yes. Let's
humans
move
are-
ahead. Yes. What else can you see in the animals? What can you see
Okay, yeah,
in the
plant,
flowers?
in
Yeah.
the plant, which is
After the physical, we
light,
have the.
yeah, the etheric, the plant.
Hmm.
Then that we have awakening greenery is there, and that
Greenery. Okay. Growth.
trees, herbs.
Hmm.
Then leaf rustling is not in etheric, no, it is an astral, I think. Leaf rustling.
Rustling.
Yellow color is also is an astral, I think. It's not in the life body. Then pink is also astral. Songs of birds will be again astral. Squirrel is etheric, also I think.
How
Puddle,
did you say it, etheric, Pooja?
it has a live body in it, no? But though
Okay.
squirrel is astral,
Yeah,
but
it will
has a
have
part of-
both. So it will
Yeah.
have physical, etheric, and
We
astral.
all living have, no? All the four element. I mean, three elements. Squirrel will have three elements. Then puddle is etheric. And other people, dogs. Water flow will be etheric.
And
Yeah.
flow,
Is water
flow,
flow etheric?
it will be
Okay.
etheric, physical,
But
etheric,
the
and
speed,
flow.
I
the
think,
speed
yeah,
will
water
be
flow is-
astral.
Will be
I think
air
the
as
speed
well.
is astral.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
but
will
the
be
flow.
air. That's it.
Warmth, anybody?
That's it. Yeah.
Ma'am, light and warmth and cold would be, I think, astral.
Astral, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it warmth or is it astral?
Warmth will be
Ma'am,
ego.
warmth
I
Warmth
think.
will be ego, I think.
Warmth will
I-
be
Yes, but
ego.
where can you see warmth in this scenery?
Right.
The sun, ma'am.
And
And the shades are cold, actually. That's what
Yeah.
it's written.
yeah.
Let's go to the astral next. No, astral is light breeze, pleasant feeling, odd cloud,
Yeah.
blue sky, and then hues of trunk, yellow dandelion flower, pink blossom cherry trees. I think songs of birds is also
There was
astral.
something about the
Yeah.
bark also.
What is it, Malini?
Wouldn't bark
I
be
think there
physical?
was something about the bark also. I don't remember.
The bark is physical.
Yeah.
The bark is physical, I think. Yeah. It's changing shape and size according to its growth.
So when it is changing shape and size, would it have some etheric as well?
Yeah, because that
Because
is
it
its
is growing.
innate nature.
Yeah,
It's your
it's got
innate
life
being that
force
is growing.
in it. The life force is there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dog is astral. Dog is astral animal.
Dog will also have physical, etheric, and astral.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
astral.
the dog will have all combinations. It can't just be classified as one part of the being.
So even other people are astral. Because
Other
they
people,
have
okay, they
astral.
will have astral. Will they have warmth
Will-
quality? Other people?
Will water be astral?
They have warm because they have ego after that, no? So they have warm quality.
Yes, Aditi.
Ma'am, is weather astral? Because it starts with the weather is fine.
I think
It's
weather-
astral,
I
right?
think weather's astral, yeah.
Yeah,
Astral
weather
or
is
etheric?
astral.
Astral. How is it etheric? How is weather?
Yeah, how is it etheric? Could you explain how is it etheric?
Yeah, because I'm curious about this.
I feel it is etheric actually.
No, but I think it's astral because it's your
weather is
warmth.
life giving.
Yeah, I just feel light, warmth, breeze. It's all astral.
Exactly.
right?
It's all
It
astral.
comes from the ethers. No, then it would be etheric. Oh no.
No way, Aditi, you're confusing me now.
Yeah, exactly. Can somebody intervene, ma'am?
Yeah,
No,
please.
I am not going to. Please continue. This is the whole idea.
No, we're very
You're enjoying
confusing
that,
ourselves
actually.
only now. All of us
The
have
weather
confused
will have
ourselves
the
very
air
well.
qualities. So
Weather will have the air quality. Okay, Malini.
Yeah.
Yes, but it
will
also has
have
a warmth quality, right?
also. Yeah, summer
Warmth is a key
warm,
factor of it being astral, right?
Listen, light is astral pakka.
हाँ, वो है. उसको
Yeah.
रख देंगे.
So light तो sun से आ रहा है ना?
अपन
warm
warmth
आ रहा है ना?
warmth भी तो आता है फिर.
आ रहा
So
है.
where would you put the warmth then? Would you
It
put
is
the
kind
warmth?
of life-giving thing, na? So it is etheric.
Oh, feelings.
Whatever
Look,
gives
when
you
we
light
feel
and-
warm, is it etheric?
But that also depends on the situation that you're placed in, right? So if you were in a cold place and you felt warm, that would give you a different feeling. Versus when you were in a warm place and you felt the extra warmth.
Okay, let's not go into that. Let's just get into whatever we are
Yes.
feeling is etheric
No,
or
but you
not.
feel
One second.
situational based, I feel.
Let's just come
Your
back
feeling
to
is based on
the.
the situation.
Feeling is
Let's-
astral.
coming back-
Feeling is astral.
Let's come back to the passage. We're talking
The
about
weather will be
weather.
both etheric and astral.
Yeah,
Yes.
weather is astral, Malini.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
weather is astral. Let's just stick to that.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic.
The air has moisture in it. It'll have elements of
etheric as
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it is both
exactly.
etheric and astral.
I know. So you have to figure out one. Now you can't have both.
Why?
Why?
If dog can be all having all the three, then dog can have no. Why not
The
together?
Black or
dog is
white.
a mammal, na.
Black or
Dog is
white.
a person
There's a
with a
gray
physical
area.
characteristic and all of that. The dog is allowed to have all three.
Dog is no.
See, we share the form with the mineral, plant, and animal. Yes, and then we share the life with plant and animal. And sensory experiences we share again with the animal. Right. So
I'm
now,
still,
yes, Smriti saying something.
I'm still confused.
Yeah, just stay with it. It's okay.
Could you
Just
repeat
too many
that?
elements,
Sensory-
you will get confused. These are all from your notes, Gitanjali. I'm not reading anything that is new. Don't worry.
You know, Smriti, do you remember once Kiranmai ma'am said when someone had, I don't know, I think when we were doing the course, when so many questions were coming, ma'am said, just relax. If you have questions, sleep on it.
Yeah,
The
I
answer
know.
will come to
I
you.
remember this.
And
Yeah.
okay, and then the last class, I asked them, ma'am, can you just give us a little gist? And Vasuprada ma'am then got into explaining all the fourfold. Okay,
I remember this.
I
Yeah.
swear, yeah, I slept on it, and now when I'm sitting down, it's not so bad. It actually comes back to you.
Does it make
It
sense
does.
to you? Is my point.
It does.
Are you able to
Okay,
distinguish between the different elements? Is my question. That's all.
Yeah, it's much better than before. I have more clarity than before. Give yourself
Very
some
nice.
time, maybe.
Very nice.
Okay.
Aditi.
Thank you, Aditi.
Do we have any
Bye,
other
Aditi.
observations to share? Or are we done? Then we begin with your questions and
So then the last element, the last fold is ego, I.
warmth.
So which is a warm sun, and then people, other people, and me also who's walking there. So we are all the last fold is the what do you call it, the memory, the I, last element, the fire.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. So you are able to bring in the physical, the etheric, the astral, and the ego organization, and relate it to the elements that are there. Yeah, that is
So there was this
mineral.
sunlight streaming through. What was this exact word? Streaming through the leaves.
So that's sunlight. That's warmth.
Okay, we will take it as sunlight.
Yeah.
I had a question around the sign. So I found the fact that it says no admittance, also some amount of ego.
Correct. I know.
Correct.
Non-living.
That same sentence, I had the same problem. I like no admittance. Matlab, like, who's drawing the line of boundary around that particular area? Where
So
this-
somebody has drawn a boundary there, whoever that bench or whoever it belongs to. Yes. So probably some indication of do not enter kind of thing.
I have another very random question of sorts. Are we saying the person who has drawn the boundary is physical to the bench, or is it humanized in the form of an entity that we do not see? So where are we drawing this parallel from?
I didn't get your question, Smriti.
No,
Could
I'm
you
saying
repeat that?
when you're saying the right of admission is reserved to that particular area, are we saying the bench has drawn the right of admission to the area?
No. The sign
not-
has been put up with by some human entity, and that is what Amrita
Okay.
is inferring as. There is some entity that has put up that sign, and that is a reflection of somebody's ego, whoever that person is. All right?
It's a person.
Yeah. Because the sign can't grow on its own, na? Out of the ground or out of the earth.
No, but sometimes when you go to an area and you feel this sense of, I don't know how to explain it. When you go to a place that is not known to you, you feel a sense of pushing away from that place, and you feel like you don't want to belong to that place.
So that is your sense. That is yours. Yeah. Fantastic. Nice. Very good start. Okay. Where else?
Question. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
The smells that were in the second line, that comes under astral, right?
Yes.
Okay. And when we're talking about the water moving and still behind the rock, that stillness and motion is like the interaction of etheric and astral. Okay.
So there is physical there, there is etheric there, there is astral there. The rock is there, so there is again mineral substances there.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. So at least we know how to identify. We are doing good. Next.
So my question is that when the water is flowing and it is flowing around the rock,
How does the Malini, how will the water flow on its own without air?
correct?
Yeah. It won't, no? It will have air passing through it. Also, the weather part of it, when we are discussing, we said that it will have astral, it will have the etheric, it will have the warmth. Okay. So where else have you observed the fourfold in your daily life so far?
In the house only.
Please share, Pooja.
We have all this furniture which is like physical.
Okay.
And the construction, the brick, the walls, everything is physical. All the non-living elements, and then etheric, we have plants in a garden, indoor plants, and then inside us also is a life body. And astral is if we have a pet in a house, or what else? Bugs and mice which are running around, and me,
Anything
human
related
being.
to the feeling realm you are saying is astral?
I think I'm connecting it to animal kingdom.
Animals.
So
Okay. Okay.
feeling, yeah, human. All the human living in the house is astral, yeah. And ego is high. Yeah, again, the warmth is. I mean, I'm going very at a very low frequency, about a very low level thing. Actually, detail. Ego, we all human have in the house, and then what else? The feeling of warmth is also ego, yeah. So I think the love and all which we have among each other is also ego. It's astral actually. The feeling is astral, no?
Feeling will be on
The soul.
astral.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, fine. Any observations that you have made on humans of any kind of fourfold for yourself or others? Would you like to share?
Aanchal, I would like to add one thing. Maybe kitchen is like the ego. It has a lot of warmth and fire.
Yes.
And bedroom can be astral, where we express all our emotions.
Yeah.
Kitchen can be etheric also, no? We get all the nourishment from there.
Yes.
That's some. I don't think you should. I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but I feel like you shouldn't limit your observations only to the household. I feel like you should look at it to a professional.
But is it right to call these non-living things as astral and?
These are observations that you make in. So when I'm looking at a chair, I am looking at a physical matter, and it is non-living. It doesn't move on its own. It is not a dynamic state. It is static. So that's the reason you observe through these physical objects. Similarly, we can look at ourselves. We can look at fourfold in human beings as well. So any kind of observations that you have had?
No, I just like if we go to any nursery, we have a lot of etheric there, and then if we go to zoo or somewhere, we have a lot of astral there. So we have specific places for these things.
Is it now coming to you, Pooja, in wherever you are going? Like when you're going to a nursery now, you are looking at.
Actually, I'm more into the threefold rather than this fourfold. I'm more into the age, yeah, 0 to 7, and then that one I'm more into looking at rather than just a basic one. I'm not looking.
Okay. Yes, Smriti, you were saying something.
No, ma'am. I was saying rather than looking at just household aspects of people who are doing 9 to 6 kind of jobs, I feel like we relate to your physical, astral, and etheric when you're in the office space as well. So when you have a chair that is just sitting there as a chair, you want to look at why that chair is being positioned in that particular way, who was sitting on that chair at that point. So I was just wondering if there were different ways of connecting this entire logic to that part of your life as well.
You can look for a fourfold in any kind of space to just make observations really. So you can, as someone said, that you can look for fourfold in a house, you can look for fourfold in a kitchen, you can, but these are just observation skills that you are going to, you're going to see.
And
The
again,
more you start observing, the more you will start internalizing.
Then we can see it in ourselves also, all the fourfold. So like while we are sleeping, etheric is working over, astral is gone.
Correct. I agree with this. But what I'm saying is, would your relationship with the other person differ because of how you're observing their characteristics to these points?
How would it differ? Or I didn't get your question.
No,
Why would you be judgmental about it?
It's not, I don't mean to be judgmental, ma'am. I'm saying if I was looking at a person through their physical, etheric, or astral aspect, I would start looking at why they're behaving a certain way, why they.
That's where the unconditional observation or the non-judgmental aspect is important when you're just observing. You're not making a diagnosis in a corporate setting.
Correct, yes, ma'am. I'm just saying, even at home when you're doing that, that subconscious need to justify behavior through different angles comes into place. So how do you, I think my question is, how do you draw the line between the subconscious and conscious during these aspects?
You have to draw it from a very non-judgmental space. You are only doing observations. You are not trying to do any conclusive diagnosis on anybody or labeling anybody. So my suggestion would be that you have to be it has to be a non-judgmental observer. You're just observing.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. When I'm observing and when I'm observing anything through the fourfold or the threefold, I am second guessing and second doubting myself on almost everything. So, like Smriti was sharing about office spaces, I was also thinking in terms of practice. Aspect of it. This is not now. Like when I was just sharing in the beginning, how I was connecting medicine. What is the physical of my practice, of my medical practice, which is the paper, the prescription pads, and the medicine, tablets and stuff, and the pen and everything. Then what is the etheric? Is the the speech. What am I talking about? I mean, the speech would be the etheric, or the communication would be the etheric. And I was thinking that, how am I feeling with the patient, and how the patient is feeling when I'm talking to them, and the bodily responses that he expresses himself with, would that be the astral, and then what would the ego be? So I kind of keep second guessing myself in almost everything.
Ma'am, I think Devala's got exactly what I was saying to a point, because that's what I was trying to say. And she's explained it far better than I did.
Yeah, because there cannot be such a cut and dry observation that you can make that, okay, my speech is only etheric, or my feeling toward the patient is only astral. Your ego is also there in it. So it cannot be so cut and dry. So
that's what I was trying to see. So when I said second guessing, what I meant was, because I was feeling that where would the ego be? Because the ego is also.
How important a role would your ego play in this entire situation?
Yeah, as an observer.
So then I don't know where. I mean, was that like?
No, I lost it, Deval. I lost that bit. Are you saying that the ego organization of the observer who's observing the fourfold is important? Is that what you're saying?
Confusion.
Okay, stay with it. You can, so let's not digress from what we actually are looking at. That all these four bodies do not work in isolation in humans. They interpenetrate. So how can you observe and say and cut and dry?
I think in humans, no, the one body is more prominent at one stage of life, and then it becomes body free, and then other. So if an observe small child, etheric is more working on the child that time, and then later on. So if a full grown up human being, these all forces are there, but one is more prominent than the other. It's dependent on every person, no, person to person. And then during the time of a day, in the daytime, etheric is more prominent, and then when sleeping, etheric goes down and astral goes up. The daytime astral is more prominent. Sorry, the feeling realm is more prominent. So, and the spirituality, the ego comes while we are sleeping or something. It helps. I mean, when we are awakened, sorry, the ego comes back.
What happens in the
so
sleep?
It's like, I think in the sleep, it's like it's
what is happening to the four bodies?
Yeah, when we are sleeping, it is like the etheric, the astral is, see, just like, for example, if how to explain it, like physical body, I mean, if there's a physical mineral thing, we need a life body in it to be second, to go to second fold, I mean, to call it a living creature, we need a life body in it. Same with that, we have a life body and then we have a physical body. We need an body, a soul in it, to make it towards animal kingdom. So this astral comes when we so this life body needs astral to work together.
Isn't it that we just, I'm sorry to cut you, isn't it just we sleep and we dream and then the soul goes away,
Exactly,
so it's astral?
Yeah, the soul goes
I was thinking the same
away
thing.
and then the day it comes back. So the life body need astral body go to the third fold actually. So we need astral
little
body,
more
which
specific
helps the
question,
life.
Pooja, so that it becomes, which body or which sheet in sleep excarnates or leaves?
Astral.
And
the soul and the ego.
And then when on waking, it penetrates back.
Yeah, both comes back.
Yes, and the physical and the, yes. So a part of astral leaves, and the physical and the etheric.
It is there. It is there.
Yes.
It's just floats above your body. It doesn't leave actually fully.
Yeah, yeah.
And
the physical and the etheric continue to do the regeneration or the regenerative processes.
Yeah, because etheric is there, needed to be there. Otherwise, degenerate into the mineral world. Etheric has to be there to be called it as a living. Yeah. So life has to be life also.
Ma'am, is our metabolism, it's etheric, right, which goes on in the night?
Metabolism?
Is etheric?
What do you mean by?
Is the metabolism etheric?
Your body is made of degenerating fat and
like, you know, making vitamins.
Etheric is there, no? While sleeping, etheric is there. It is.
Etheric is not there. It comes alive when you're awake. Etheric is not there when you're sleeping. Etheric comes alive in the morning when you're awake and your physical senses are.
But etheric would be there in the life forces there when you're sleeping also.
Okay, I'll say.
No, but I think etheric is more active when you're fully functioning, right?
But your food is getting digested when you're sleeping.
But that is again a subconscious activity, na? You're not purposefully functioning in that activity and saying, "Theek hai, mera
but it's a life force.
Otherwise, you're dead.
So at any point in time, does the etheric or the astral or the ego leave you completely? Then what is this called?
No, I don't think it does.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye to everyone.
No, it doesn't. It is always there. The sentient soul
the part of astral leaves in the night and with the
That's
ego,
why they,
and then come back in the morning while you are awake. Etheric forces continue to work with the physical body. Okay. So the sleep is also clear and how the four bodies are functioning. Okay. So now, any other?
Wait, I want to. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I want Mali. Why did you bring sentient soul इसके बीच में अभी?
Because she wanted to confuse you.
She's already ready. Gradually, my brain went off into a different angle only.
वो आ गया ना क्योंकि वो the part of astral that leaves, no?
Astral है उसके sentient soul क्यों घुसाया बीच में अभी?
It's the theosophy speaking. Very nice, Malini.
मैम मेरा दिमाग उतना प्रोसेस नहीं कर सकता अभी थोड़ा.
मेरा लाइफ फोर्स जाग उठा था.
Thank you, मालिनी. अभी मैं आपको बग करूँगी बाद में to explain this logic process.
Nice, very nice. Okay, so we have another, say, about 10 minutes. So let's bring in if there are any questions or any more, anything that you would like to share on 4-4. Questions specifically if you have.
The ego, no, the ego, the I, the fire element, it's only in the humans. That's it.
The thinking and the reflective quality is there in the animals?
No, it's not there. Not in animals.
Of course it's there. How you say it's not there?
No, they don't. They react to their instinct. They don't.
But their instinct is driven by a thought process. They're like, I'm hungry, I need to be fed. This is my instinct.
That's an instinct. That's astral. That's it.
Okay, let me give you an
If
example.
me and you stay at astral level, na, we are just hogging on food all the time. We're not thinking that, oh, but mote ho jayenge, patle ho jayenge, and this kind of
I
thing.
know, this is why you have a
Let me give you
food
an
chain.
example, Smriti.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Smriti. So let's say there is a tiger and who is hungry and who has satiated his hunger by killing another little one. And then there is a human who is hungry and he has quenched his hunger and he's satisfied now by killing someone. Yeah.
Yes.
Who is going to think? Is the tiger going to turn around and really think about that? Or he's just driven by instinctive that he was hungry? And as an instinct,
I get your point, ma'am. My point is we have a food chain for a reason. You have your mammal chain growing up to a certain extent. And then you also say that evolution has happened through monkeys and all of that to lead us to become humans right now. Mm-hmm. So that is again driven by a conscious need to develop to become better than who you.
Yeah. In the same chain, at the top is the human who has the reflective and the thinking quality or the ego organization.
That point. So that is not instinct.
I lost you, Smriti.
No, my Wi-Fi just stopped working. So no, my Wi-Fi just stopped working. So. No, I'm saying every evolution has happened through the years and generations because certain people at some point have stopped and said, this is not who we want to be. And we want to be better than who we are.
But Steiner, I know where you're coming from. But Steiner talks about evolution in a different phase, which, if you remember, in fact, in the 4-4 lecture, Kiran did mention the old Saturn, the whole evolution process. If you remember that there was old Saturn, old Sun, old Moon, then the Earth. So the evolution process that the Steiner talks about is a little different from what we are thinking as the triangular top of the creation kind of.
Sorry, this is my side.
Yeah, so that's the normal. When we've given, I agree with you because even I used to think that there is this whole evolution, and once we realize that okay, this is the way Steiner is talking about. So he does talk about the old Saturn, old Sun, old Moon, and Earth is in the 4th stage, and how all the elements have progressed. Yeah. Anything else?
So are you saying, Smriti, that why man has instincts or he doesn't have? What is your actual confusion?
No, ma'am. I'm saying that I feel like not just man, but I feel every living being has an instinct.
Yes.
And the instinct level differs the instinct level just differs based on species to species. So
so but animals do not think about their instincts.
I kind of think they do, ma'am. When you're talking about, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. I'm saying talk about dogs.
What do you mean by thinking?
When you say dogs have an unabiding loyalty towards human beings, that is their instinct to protect their owners. When you say cats,
is this dog being humanized or is it in the wild? Do you have
either way? When you've heard so.
If you go into, don't take this dog, take any animal, do you think they obey human beings? Are they loyal?
I think at a certain point, everyone is, ma'am. You have to, even if it requires a basic sense of training, even with human beings.
It will be fearing that you might harm, that's all. It won't
Isn't
be
that also a sense?
That's an instinct.
Agree,
the survival instinct is there for every living being.
Ma'am, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah, survival instinct is only seen in animals and humans. It's not
but the survival instinct is also, isn't that coming from a basic sense of feeling? That you're feeling afraid, you're feeling...
feelings is the very, very basic level. It's called instinct. So basing on the levels of feelings you have, one is instinct, then you have drive, and then you have desire, and then comes, so there are layers of feeling. So instinct is something which is not in your control. When your other things are taken out, suppose your human nature is removed because you are starved for 4 days, let's say, and if there is food on the table, do you think you will think about not grabbing food? You will grab because you are at instinct level. You are no longer working at the human level
But
because
ma'am,
survival is
what
coming
about those
operation.
mother dogs? Yeah, mother dogs who give food to their kids and who sacrifice food, and that's a mother affection, love, warmth is there, no, in the dog ego. No,
After
it's
a
not there.
certain
Dogs
number of
will
Mother,
days,
sacrifice
mothers
food.
don't.
No, it won't sacrifice.
No,
They don't.
ma'am, I have a question. I don't want to contradict what you're saying. I completely agree with what you're saying. But I am also coming from a point of the fact that if you had a problem that said that you were on a train track and the train is going to a direction, on one side you had one friend, and on the other side family of 400 people. If you had to save one of the two, who would you pick? This is the same thing as an animal saying you had food and you don't have food. So how are you different from the animal as versus as you as a human being?
I didn't understand actually what you are saying. See,
No,
animals,
ma'am.
when you have instinct, thinking is not operating. When thinking comes, instincts won't operate. When thinking is removed, then only instinct will operate. Instinct is coming from a very, very basic level. So suppose you have a pet, then your instincts come into operation where you will not even think good, bad, ugly, what you are doing. You are operating from the instinctual level. But when you are not in the instinctual level, you will be able to process your thoughts.
One question over here.
I'll give you the exercise. Anchal, I wrote to you that exercise. Holding the breath and then thinking. Just make them do it, then they will understand what we are trying to say.
Yes,
Yeah?
ma'am. Yes, I think.
Okay. Okay. Ready, everyone? So you need to close your eyes and focus on a thought. So now you need to close your eyes and focus on a thought.
That means the thought should be continuously, operating.
Yeah. Now I hold your breath and continue to think. Okay, you can release your breath. And gently open your eyes. Yeah. Was there a difference?
Share your feedback. What did you
Yeah,
experience?
I could not think. After a moment, I need the oxygen. I mean, I'm worrying about when is my next breath going to come. That thought that I was thinking is not there.
Others? Smriti, what happened to you? Were you able to think?
No, I have the same feedback as Aditi.
So
I
that's the
couldn't.
instinct and that's the thought. Now you get it?
Yes,
When
ma'am.
your instinct is taken away, you can't
cannot
really
think.
do anything. That's thinking is at a higher order. Instincts have to be fulfilled. Otherwise, survival won't happen. So that's how it is. So animals are at that level. They cannot think. They may be able to, in a sense that, okay, I know how to hunt my prey. How that kind of thinking is not what we are talking as far as the cognitive aspects are concerned. So
I
this
was
is
actually
thinking
going to
about
ask the same thing.
future, about planning, about having a goal in mind and then operating towards that goal and such things. But instinct also has a goal. I'm hungry, I want to grab food. But
Yeah,
there it ends.
correct.
It is not like a long term goal. 5 years down the line, I want to be an antipositive psychotherapist. Nothing like that works in it. That's the distinction. I hope I made it clear.
Yes, ma'am. You did. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, I just needed to understand it.
No, there is nothing to sorry. This is only to learn
That's all.
from each other and then deepen our concepts. So don't feel sorry. I'm happy actually you're asking this.
Thank you, ma'am.
It would also be to do with the memory, right? I mean, instinct and thinking that way. Your thinking allows you to have that memory to process as against instinct.
Yeah.
For memory also, people always get confused with animals because an animal also recognizes you if you are a regular,
Master
like you are
or
the owner,
yeah.
master. Then Steiner says it's only it can recollect on the presence of when you are there, it will recognize you. It will not sit and then brood. Where did my master go? That doesn't happen. Like one or two cases maybe there where this attached to master and then too much of humanization has happened. But otherwise, the general tendency for an animal is that it doesn't brood. That's why it can sit for hours together and days together like that. We can't sit. Even an hour without, forget about an hour, I can't sit even for 5 minutes.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? So, mull over what we've discussed today. Sleep over it. Stay with it. It'll keep coming back. Shall we stop here then? I'll share the screen. Please read the words. Snehal, you want to read it?
Every knowledge pursued merely for the enrichment of personal learning and the accumulation of personal treasure leads you away from the path. But all knowledge pursued for growth to ripeness, the process of human ennoblement and cosmic development brings you a step forward. Thank you.